Start with the first topic, that is emergence of sociology. So we have done with division of labor. We have talked about social facts, suicide and religion, four theories of Durkheim. We completed Durkheim and today we are going for critical analysis. So before that I will complete this division of labor PDF that we skipped at that time. So any doubts in any theories? All the theories are very simple. But still, if you have any doubt, we can discuss that.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, under regulation, there are two types of suicides, right? The first one, I forgot the name actually. So what I'm saying is, you might be knowing that in North Korea kind of countries, they are very strict in rules. Okay, so if looks like the society is totally controlled by the or regulated by the government in North Korea. So if some citizen of North Korea, they will commit the suicide. So can we tell that that kind of suicide falls under that regulation one?
But they are habituated. They are habituated with that regulation, and the society accepted that regulation. So that cannot be treated as, for them it is not regulation. So that society has already accepted that regulation. That is actually became the part of the societal norm. There is nothing like everybody is having that same problem. So that is actually accepted as the norm of the society.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
What else? Can we discuss this division of labor?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you might have already gone through the PDF. So I hope you understood what is organic solidarity and mechanical solidarity. Any confusion with respect to that? So suppose you get this question, if it is asked, organic and mechanical solidarity, how will you start this? If this question, this is short answer, so this will be 10 marker. You can write maximum 1.5 pages or maybe 2 pages maximum you can write. So 150 to 175 words you need to limit your answer. So what all things you will write there? You will start with saying that Durkheim, directly you will write the introduction and you directly move on to the content. No need to talk about introduction. Durkheim gave distinctive sociological explanation. Durkheim wrote as a sociologist. Durkheim is a founding father of sociology. All those things you don't want to write in the 10 marker. So that should be like in the bigger, these questions you need to write like proper introduction and everything, but in the 10 marker don't go with that. Directly enter into the question, directly enter into the concept. Tell that Durkheim gave this concept of organic and mechanical solidarity in his theory of division of labor. Then explain what is mechanical solidarity that he have seen in the traditional society. So you explain the characteristics of traditional society, which is based on norms and values. The society live in bands. It is segmentary in nature. The laws are repressive. People's conformity to the laws are very high, and people are together. That solidarity is mechanical solidarity. Organic solidarity also you explain in the modern society where the laws are reformative or restitutive. People are together because of division of labor, and people are like dependent on each other, and this interdependence is functional. It is like organs in the body, everybody is connected. And then after that you can talk about that graph also. This mechanical solidarity is coming down, organic solidarity is going up with time. So that's enough. You don't want to write anything more. With that itself you will get very good mark. And maybe if you want you can talk about some criticism also, like organic solidarity is not only through division of labor. There may be many other aspects also for ensuring solidarity in the society, but still division of labor is not necessarily integrating people. It can result into conflict also, but for that Durkheim is anyway talking about solution in terms of when he discuss about anomy state or the abnormal form, he only talk about all those situations. So we cannot write as a criticism. Durkheim himself is actually talking about that. Okay, so that's how you need to write that answer. Let's move on to the PDF. According to Durkheim, society is sui generis and the individual consciousness is determined by the collective conscience. Collective conscience is nothing but reflected in the form of various social facts. So collective conscience means, what is this? This is actually reflected in terms of, your family values, religious values, educational values, the entire societal values. Like when it comes to ethics, I'll tell you this is almost similar to ethics. When we discuss about ethics and morality, almost both are same. But ethics is almost like collective conscience. The collective conscience of a group, or the conscience of a group, the group values. That is what ethics. When we talk about morality, it is to an extent individual values. Okay, so thus Durkheim give primacy to society over individual. Time and again we have discussed the same point, you already know that. At the same time, maintenance of social order or the integration of society is the dominant concern in Durkheim sociology. Individual is bound to society in various ways and with the intermediation of different social facts. Durkheim's study of division of labor is one such attempt to identify the social states which binds the individual with the society. Durkheim observes in the modern society where heterogeneity, complexity and differentiation is found, what holds the society together. See, if you talk about our case, we all are different and there is too much complexity and you all are competing among yourself, and there is too much of differentiation in terms of religion, caste, gender, a lot of differentiation you can see, but we all are together because of division of labor. You are interdependent, right? Durkheim found that in primitive society, the actions of an individual are controlled by the norms and values of the society or the collectivity. So in primitive society, it was all about norms and values and the collectivity. So individual is bound to behave in accordance with these norms and values. This binds the individual with the society. But in modern society, there is a lot of individuality and the control of norms and values are weak. Thus, Durkheim attempt to answer a purely sociological question, which force is holding the modern society together. So division of labor, this theory is contained in the book Division of Labor in Society 1893. Now you can see the definition. So till now, is there any confusion, any doubts in any words that I have used here till now? These words, social facts, collective conscience, all these we have discussed, and all these should be there in your answer. Sui generis, no confusion with any words. No, these are sociological words, these are sociological terms. Okay, so division of labor is splitting up of activities into number of parts and or smaller processes undertaken by different persons or group of persons. In other words, it implies the specialization associated with a particular occupation or an activity. Now, what are the causes of division of labor? The cause of division of labor we identified, right, already in terms of the struggle for existence in the present occupation. That is actually the cause of division of labor or the specialization. So here we will see that. So Durkheim explained the cause of division of labor by using an evolutionary perspective. This is very important. So this in itself can be asked as a question. And can you tell me which theory of Marx is using this perspective? Marx is also, if something common is there in Durkheim and Marx, no, this is
historical materialism.
Yeah, in historical materialism, Marx is also using this perspective, and he is using evolutionary perspective to develop his theory, right? Historical materialism, like primitive communism to like that, ancient to feudal to capitalism. That's what evolutionary perspective. Both got motivation from where? Darwin's theory of biological evolution. So that's how we are saying initial sociologists were concerned about science, etc. So if you need to make a comparison with Marx and Durkheim, so the similarity is this, both using evolutionary perspective. Apart from that, when you talk about Marx and Durkheim, one is using functional perspective, other using conflict perspective. Then can you tell me any more other similarity? One more similarity is there. Can anyone tell me that? This is what more important, not the PDF. This you can read and understand any point of time. Can you tell me, apart from this evolutionary perspective, any other similarity between Marx and Durkheim? Kanishk, can you tell me?
I guess Marx used the economic structure and the society, to understand the society. Even the division of labor is somewhat related to the economical activities that we do. So, and there here also Durkheim is trying to explain through division of labor, like how it is impacting the society. So I guess both of them are using the economical terms to understand the society.
No, both are using all those, but that's in a different context you need to explain. The main comparison that you can make similarity is actually both using which perspective? Macro perspective. Both are giving importance to individual or society?
Yeah.
Society.
Both are giving importance to society. Marx is considering society as supreme, Durkheim also considering society as supreme, and both were criticized by which thinker you will use to criticize both? Weber. Okay, so that's how you need to connect. This is one of the most important similarity that you can make. If at all you need to make a similarity, both were using evolutionary perspective, both were giving importance to society. Okay. So okay. Now, establishment of cause is one of the most important pillars of Durkheim's methodology. He emphasizes on separation of cause and function in order to avoid illegitimate teleology. Tejaswini, this is okay for the sentence we have discussed already?
Yes.
Okay.
Clear.
So Durkheim develops a dichotomy of a primitive and modern society, and by using an evolutionary perspective, he goes on to establish the cause. According to him, primitive societies are based on mechanical solidarity. People perform similar occupation and are alike. Population is less, and the interaction between people are within the particular segment. Okay, like this. You remember I have discussed this case within segments. So between segment, no interaction in the beginning. Okay. His conception of primitive society is segmentary, where people live in bands with less interaction between different bands. The laws in such society are repressive, and people conform to collective conscience is very strong. So all the people will conform to the norms and values of society, because otherwise the laws are repressive and you will get strict sanctions and punishments. Okay. With time, population within segment increase, which Durkheim referred to as increase in volume. Number is increasing, that means volume. Okay. This result into increased interaction. So when the number is increasing, interaction increase, and this also result into increase in moral density. According to Durkheim, increase in number of moral values is the representative of increase in interaction between people. Okay. Thus he concludes, as volume of population increases, the moral density increases. This results in people having access to activities performed in different segments. So this is a key word, activities performed in different segments. This initiated a process of struggle for existence. This paragraph is more important. This is actually the cause of division of labor. Okay, so the logical conclusion or the result of this situation according to Durkheim is the fittest will survive and the unfit will create specialization that lead to division of labor. So this diagram self-explanatory. I hope you have already understood. You have discussed this. Primitive society based on mechanical solidarity. So you need to explain this. Segmentary in nature. You need to explain this, that people live in bands, etc. Increase in population. That means increase in volume. Interaction increases. Material density, moral density increases. People have access to activities. Struggle for existence. Unfit create new specialization. Only the fittest will survive. That is a cause of division of labor. Any doubts?
No, sir.
So can we use this diagram to explain the cause instead of writing more? Because writing is taking more time. Not only time, but space also.
No, I think drawing diagram you will take more time. No? So
the words are less.
Actually both you need to do. You need to write on and you need to draw the diagram also. Diagram you consider just as value addition. Diagram won't give you mark. Diagram is just
Yesterday I tried to write for the historical materialism using the Hegel's dialogue as a criticism. I took 25 minutes to write that 4 pages. So in that sense I was thinking like if we can go with the diagram, because it takes more time and words, space also required.
No, anyway diagram is just this value addition only. That in itself is not your answer. You cannot simply draw the diagram, and that's not the, even if the question is about 10 marker you maximum try to write in words, and then towards the end you can do some diagrammatic representation. That is just to tell the examiner what all things you have written in a concrete form. Towards the end you can show this. Otherwise, diagram alone will not work out. It is just value addition. Just take it as value addition. Maybe 1 or 2 mark extra you get with the diagram. That shows the conceptual understanding. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, function. For delineating the function of division of labor, Durkheim develops a conception of modern society which is characterized by huge population, high moral density, and is very complex. The collective conscience is very low, and because of high material density. Why collective conscience is low? Because very complex society, very much individualistic society, individual goals are there, so people only follow their goals and they create their rules, etc. So collective conscience is not very important. Okay. So when the society develops, that is what actually going to happen. These societies are secular in nature and the supreme value is attached to the individual. So when we discuss about ethics, at that point we will discuss about some value conflicts, ethical dilemma, etc. That is because of this, the supreme value attached with the individual. There may be some collective values of society and there may be some individual motivations also. So that situation is what we discuss as ethical dilemma. We will discuss that later. So here in these societies, ethics is more connected with sociology. Once you have these concepts clear like values, ethics, morality, you can get a lot from this sociology itself. Apart from that, moral thinkers. Okay. Even in ethics, Weber was directly asked before. In one of the year, I don't remember which year, Weber concept was directly asked. Okay, but Weber you are studying not only in sociology, in political science and public administration also you are studying Weber. So directly question was asked. The collective conscience is low because of high material density. These societies are secular in nature and the supreme value is attached to the individual. The types of laws are reformative or restitutive. You understood now what is this reformative law? Like what Gandhi say, an eye for eye will make the entire world blind. So it's all about reformation. Okay? In these societies, division of labor is very high and manifested in terms of high degree of occupational specialization. In such societies, people are highly interdependent upon each other and the interdependence is functional. So this interdependence between people, interdependence, that is functional. According to Durkheim, it is a division of labor which induces functional interdependence and is responsible for the organic character of society. Thus, modern society is based on organic solidarity which is due to the high division of labor. Further, Durkheim validates his functional explanation in terms of similarity and differences. So you can see here in his words, while we like those who resemble us, we are also drawn towards others who are different precisely because they are different. So you have something extra or something different to get from that person, so you are drawn towards those people. In other words, we seek in others what we lack in ourselves, and associations are formed wherever there is a true exchange of services. In short, wherever there is a division of labor. According to Durkheim, modern society is based on mass production. As the needs increase, further specialization is required. In order to undertake specialization, a degree of individual autonomy is required. That is, an individual must be free to create. Okay, thus division of labor fulfills yet another function of granting individual much needed autonomy required to undertake specialization. So here, can you make any comparison with this part with any thinker? Yeah, you're seeing here, you can see here, can you see here, individual is now, he must be free to create. Individual is free to create. Where you have discussed this word free to create in the concept of de-alienation, total man. He is free to create, he can do whatever he wants. So that is a similar concept that he is offering here. So the question will be compare the concept of division of labor between Marx and Durkheim. So division of labor specifically we are studying under Durkheim as a theory. What people will do is they will only write what you have studied here and you leave the other part blank. You don't know what is division of labor according to Marx. So you will get 0 mark here because the question is clearly comparison. If you are not writing at least one line of comparison, you are not going to get any mark here. And what is the comparison? This is a comparison and this is a thread, and from here only you need to pick. And many people I am evaluating daily, at least 10 papers I am evaluating. I have uploaded one paper yesterday also that you can see in that the person written is exactly the same. Mostly people will write in every other things but miss this part. This is actually the most important comparison that you need to make. So where Marx is talking about division of labor, Marx is talking about division of labor in the context of alienation. So you need to compare that theory, alienation and division of labor. That is a comparison you need to make. Okay. So I hope this is clear. So you need to write down in the margin so that you can connect later. Otherwise you will forget it. Once we're done with it, you will forget it. So thus finally, okay. Yeah, finally he states an individual while becoming more autonomous come to depend more heavily on society. So let's suppose if I get the statement like this, and if they're asking you to discuss the statement, will you be in a position to write it? What is this autonomous comes to depend more heavily on society? This is interdependence. This is organic solidarity. This is related to division of labor, right? So you should be in a position to write this. But entire theory you need to write. Correct? Thus, according to Durkheim, division of labor is a social phenomena and rejected the classical and neoclassical explanations of division of labor. And before it was given by Adam Smith basically to maximize the production, productivity and profitability. These schools understood the industrialization or increase in occupational specialization in the context of, okay, I'm not interested in discussing that. Then Durkheim claimed division of labor is social, as it is not only confined to occupation but permeates through each and every aspect of social life. Moreover, division of labor is present since ancient times, and what has changed is only the degree. See, there is a clear-cut division of labor in between us also. It's like that statement is very much applicable. We seek in others what we lack in ourselves, right? So you don't know sociology, so you depend on me. But it is not only confined to sociology. Most of you are always talking to me in messages and phone calls, right? So there is a lot of social things which are involved with respect to that division of labor. So that's what Durkheim says. It is not only related to occupation or that particular economic part. There are a lot of social aspects which are involved. The criticism that you can say here is Durkheim talking about division of labor, and Durkheim is also saying that division of labor is permeating through each and every aspect of social life. But while explaining the cause of division of labor, is he taking into consideration any other aspects or only occupational specialization? That is a criticism. He is saying that all these things are there. Division of labor is not just economic. This is not just related to production. This is related to many other things. But while explaining cause, you already understood. No, when he talk about cause, he is only talking about the struggle for existence in the present occupation. So when he is trying to establish the cause, he is only talking from occupational point of view. So that is the criticism. Just for the sake of criticizing, you can say anything. That's it. Okay. Thus, he concludes that it is a social fact which has come into existence out of the autonomous development of society and sui generis. And this sentence you will write everywhere in the theory of religion also. Religion is a social fact which come into existence with the autonomous development of society. Suicide is also a social fact which come into existence with the autonomous development of society. So everything which exists in society is what according to Durkheim? Social fact. Okay. So if you get a question on theory of social fact, will you confine your answer to what I have given to you, like characteristics of social fact, definition of social fact and rules of studying social fact, or you will write more? Are you in a position to write more now?
Yes, sir.
And if you remember, I have given you the last line where we concluded in social fact you need to incorporate the coming future theories from Durkheim. So are you able to do that now at this point? Because we have completed all the theories. And see, nobody can help you in that. I can only tell you this is what you need to do, and you have to do it from your side. Whenever you get a question on social fact, you try to incorporate maximum, you try to make the connections, all these things you need to say. For example, when we talk about any particular rule of explanation or rules of distinction, take any social fact that he studied, division of labor. He is talking about normal and pathological. So you can say in his when you're talking about rules of distinction, you can say for example in his theory of division of labor, he clearly separate rules of distinction. Okay, then he clearly show the use of, or he clearly separate between normal and pathological form. Or when you talk about rules of explanation, you can say he is using scientific methods for explaining the rules and making theories. For example, suicide is a classical exhibition of use of statistical techniques. In his theory of religion, he developed an experiment, he did an indirect experiment. All these things you can say. So all these are drawing from the theories which you have learned, and that you need to make the connection. Depends on the question which is asked, and depend on the time and the space which is available to you. And that can come only with experience. It demands some time, and it demands some understanding also. Okay. So when I started preparation, I also faced a lot of problem in the beginning, but with time it will be okay. So you need to start writing your answers. Once we complete things, you can start writing your answers. Then finally he claims that the function of division of labor is not purely economic but social. Further, Durkheim also identifies abnormal forms of division of labor. So these are the three abnormal forms. The division of labor is basically a normal phenomena, but temporary abnormalities can come. Anomy division of labor, inadequate organization, forced division of labor. Anomy means it is a state of normlessness. That is what explained here. Inadequate organization means work is not properly organized, that lead to chaos and all in the workplace. Forced division of labor means you have some talent, but your parents or somebody is forcing you to go with some other job, that is forced division of labor. So you cannot express your creativity. So these are the three cases of anomy division of labor. And here comes his solution. The study of abnormal form culminate into Durkheim's concept of socialism. According to him, the socialism can be based on maintenance of division of labor in the normal state by a number of occupational associations which will implement an ethical code corresponding to their occupation. This will prevent anomy state, help in organizing the work. That means inadequate organization can be solved, and prevent forced division of labor also. So here, can you expect a question on comparison between Marx and Durkheim, concept of communism or socialism? Yes, you can expect. Here, when we talk about the concept of socialism, it means the concept of his solution to the problem. For Durkheim, these problems, this anomy states are temporary. These problems are temporary. So you don't want a radical solution. You can solve the problem through what? So through some ethical code like this. But what according to Marx is the problem? The problem is the structure. So the entire mode of production is the problem. The system is the problem. So you have to change the system. You got it? So that is how you need to make a comparison here. So each and every point you can see there is a possibility of getting question which is related to comparison. So that's about this theory. Any doubts here? Can we move to critical analysis?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so critical analysis, as usual, what we will do in general, we will first go for contribution. So I'll give you the contribution of Durkheim. So this part I'm talking about contribution. Then what I need to give you, the general criticism. Okay. So generally Durkheim could be criticized like he's a macro sociologist. He's giving importance to society. Okay. So then you can, what else you can say? General criticism.
He emphasizes more on society and neglected individual.
And that's what I've told you now. Macro sociologist. Apart from that, you can say.
He says the facts should be considered as things which is not possible.
No, I didn't get you.
Sir, he says that social facts should be considered as things.
Social facts to be considered as things, that is a difficult thing, that is a difficult part, but that is better to write in specific criticism, no, when it comes to social facts. But since everything is related to social fact, if you need to write in general, still you can write that, not a problem. Yeah, you can write that, not a problem. Social facts, you cannot consider it as things as he say. These are abstract phenomena.
Approach.
Which one? Deductive approach. In fact, despite he is claiming continuously that he is a positivist and he is using scientific approach and he is using inductive approach, but his theories look like what? Deductive. All his theories look like the theories are already framed even before he take up the analysis. So these are easy points. You can say this macro point you can raise. He is a macro sociologist ignoring the micro aspect, or he is giving importance to society ignoring the individual meanings, motives, etc. So which thinker you will use here to criticize this part? Weber. You can use Weber. Weber consider internal meanings, motives. Weber or any phenomenologist will be fine, but Weber is always best because you are studying in detail Weber, so you won't face any problem. Okay. Secondly, social facts cannot be considered as things. That you have already told that. So there is a limitation with respect to considering social facts as things, but that is in fact is a better specific criticism for social fact. Still you can write that, and here also you can use Weber. Weber says social facts are not like pebbles in the beach, just like you can go and pick it. Okay, these are abstract phenomena and it is very difficult to visualize it as things. Okay, apart from that you can talk about this and conflict. How will you criticize? Durkheim trying to justify even the extreme abstract forms in terms of functions, or you can say he is only trying to identify the functions. He is ignoring the conflictual aspect. So which thinker you will use here? He is ignoring conflict in the society. Which thinker?
Marx.
You will use Marx, right? You need to talk about Marx. For example, Marx is giving an entirely different approach to understand the society. So, and then deductivism. He is claiming that he is an inductivist, but almost all his theories look like the theory was already there in his mind even before he take up the analysis. Now, see, let me tell you one thing. Even if you don't know any specific criticism in case of Durkheim is very easy. Even if you don't know anything, this much is enough for you to beautifully write a critically analyzed answer. You will not face any problem. This is enough. And you can be very confident of writing your answer with this content itself. Okay, let's move forward. This is your contribution part. So, Emile Durkheim may be sociology's greatest theorist till date. Randall Collins, that's a statement. Okay, given by the person. Durkheim's theories are considered significant not only in terms of distinctively sociological explanation. Can I say Durkheim gives distinctive sociological explanation? Yes, he gave distinctive sociological explanation for everything, for religion, for division of labor, for suicide, for every phenomena he gave pure sociological explanation. Okay, so that is his contribution mainly. But Marx is not giving any pure sociological contribution actually. But also for highlighting the importance of studying social order in sociology. He attempted to develop a distinct subject matter for sociology. What is that subject matter for him? What is subject matter for him?
Social facts, society.
Social facts. Studying social facts. So he attempted to develop a distinct subject matter for sociology and proposed a number of scientific methods. For the first time, he used the functional perspective for the purpose of theorization. He even attempted to resolve the problem of illegitimate teleology in functionalism by separating cause and functions, which he exhibits in the theory of division of labor and religion. He's separating cause and function over there. Finally, Durkheim approach is considered pragmatic when he deals with the social phenomena which are considered generally as problems. Okay, see, we consider some issues as general problem. Generally, we consider these as problems. But Durkheim says these are normal. For example, what? Like suicide is normal for Durkheim, crime is normal, but certain extent, right? So I hope you also understood that is a kind of different approach that we have seen and we have understood only after Durkheim. We have tried to see things, crime in this way, suicide in this way. Okay, so due to these contributions, Durkheim considered as a great sociologist. Randall Collins in his book 1994 states, Emile Durkheim may very well be sociology's greatest theorist to date. The statement you can write just like that. Now, general criticism, as we have already discussed, Durkheim theories are often accused to have employed a complex form of deductivism in spite of his claims for inductivism. Firstly, he used the data from secondary sources. Can you give an example for this? Secondary sources data.
crimes, he collected data from police records.
Yeah, that is okay, but that may be to an extent authentic, but the religion, ethnographies he referred to, right? He referred to ethnographies, Arunta tribes and all this. Yeah, that is secondary sources, and secondly, it seems that the theories and ideas were there in Durkheim's mind even before he took up the analysis. Okay, then Durkheim's analysis also lacks a sensitivity for individuals' own subjective. This you change spelling mistake. Individuals' own subjective meanings, emotions, etc. So I hope you will be in a position to write Weber from your language. Is that okay? For example, Weber considered meanings attached by the actor to his action is a subject matter of sociology and which also forms part of the subject matter. Okay, then thirdly, Durkheim ignored conflict. So will you be in a position to write Marx here? I'm not writing these areas completely because I'm leaving it to you. But you have to substantiate your answer with the thinker. If you have any problem, I can explain, not a problem, but already you know these things. Okay? So Durkheim proposed development of universal theories or laws, but none of his theories can be truly considered as universal. Moreover, his theories cannot be empirically tested. Finally, the scientific method which Durkheim proposed rely heavily on subjectivity of the investigator for its application. For example, indirect experiment, right? That involves subjectivity. Now, specific theory, I'll talk about social fact and division of labor. What you can do is, you can work on this religion and suicide. You can refer to essential sociology and you can get the content. You will not face any problem. We have already discussed the criticisms when we discussed about the theory itself. Even for social facts and this also you will get from there. So specific criticism, you can refer that book and you can add criticism. Nothing else is required from that book in Thinkers, only specific criticism of this particular theory. In Marx also I referred that. In Durkheim also, for specific criticism, you refer that. Okay, add that here itself. Social facts. Durkheim argued for observation of social facts as things, but it is very difficult to do the same in practice. The interpretation may differ from person to person. Durkheim advocated absolute objectivity, which is not possible in practice. Personal preconception cannot be removed. Durkheim negated individual will while understanding social facts. His theories are inadequate in explaining the different influence of social facts on different persons. In this light, Weber states, social facts do not exist as things in their own right, waiting to be gathered as pebbles on the beach. All these are self-explanatory. According to Weber, social facts exist within individual and do not influence the individual from outside. So what Weber says, it is not influencing from outside, it is within. Social facts guide the individual on the basis of his own interpretation of social fact. So, see, religion is there, religion is a fact, it is a social fact, but it guides the individual, it guides you based on the way you interpret religion. It is not that religion guide you, right? Maybe in traditional society that was the case, but in modern society it's all about the way you interpret marriage, the way you interpret family. That's how things are working on now. So maybe in modern society Weber is more valid, you can say, but you cannot ignore the influence of society, obviously, any point of time that is there. Durkheim failed to propose any criteria for identifying the objective manifestation of social fact. This has been totally left to the investigator. Where we discussed about this point? Can anyone tell me where we discussed about objective manifestation of social fact? And I've told you one very important word is there that you need to write just like that.
The symbol.
Yeah, when we discussed about collective representation, the symbols, right? And it is completely left out to the investigator. For example, it is not necessary that a widow will wear a white sari. It is not necessary, or it is not necessary that all the married ladies will wear the sindoor, right? All these are totally left out to the investigator. Now, criticism of division of labor. According to Durkheim, struggle for existence in present occupation resulted in competition, which led to emergence of specialization or division of labor. That's what Durkheim said. But Durkheim totally ignored other consequences of competition. Okay, in modern society nowadays, competition is dysfunctional as it generates stress and tension. Moreover, the conditions which Durkheim specify for division of labor to be normal are utopian. What Durkheim says is some occupational association, code of conduct, etc. that is enough. But what is actually happening? These occupational associations, what are they doing? Promoting the interest of their members and are least concerned about social order. For example, a doctor, the doctors association is there. So from the doctor's side, some accidents happened, and in the surgery some patient died. So what will happen? The entire doctors association will try to protect that doctor only. Okay, so that is actually the problem, and nobody will be there to take care of that particular patient. Okay, so Durkheim talks of division of labor as a phenomena existing in all spheres of social life, but while explaining the cause, this already we have discussed. He only talked about division of labor in occupation. Durkheim considered division of labor in other spheres as an extension of struggle for existence is too simple and unconvincing. Okay. Now, the other two you need to refer. Even here in this two also, whatever you feel convenient for you, you can add. Okay, there is, but you need only 3 or 4 maximum. 2 to 3, maximum 4 is what you need to write. Not more than that, because you will never get a question only to write criticism. Even if critically analyzed, you have to write the entire theory and all these parts. Okay, so relevance of Durkheim. Although Durkheim's macro approach may not find favor in the era of postmodernism, why macro approach is not good enough in the postmodern society? Can you tell me why it is not practical in the modern society? Macro approach. Because society is more individual centric. Individual choices, individual values are important, not the collective conscience. That we have already discussed in mechanical and organic solidarity. In mechanical solidarity, it is collective conscience is more important, but now that is not the case. So macro approach may not help you to understand, okay, in the era of postmodernism, but still Durkheim's approach are considered highly relevant. Social phenomena studied by Durkheim still exist, like the theory of religion or suicide or division of labor, all are there. In spite of all efforts of welfare states, the social problems continue. This makes Durkheim's pragmatic approach relevant. Durkheim theories are highly relevant in understanding the social order in modern society. His conception of differences and similarities, both generating state of integration, is quite useful in understanding the present complex society. Right? Can you tell me what does this sentence means? Differences integrate people and similarity integrate people. What does this means? Differences integrate people. Which theory? Integration is because of differences. Which theory? Quickly tell me without reading the next sentence. It is division of labor, right? We seek in others what we lack in ourselves, and associations are formed. So here, because of we both have differences, we are together. Now similarities integrate people, where he discussed? Religion, set of beliefs and practices, etc. So that is what written here. I'm not reading it out, but really, okay. Therefore, despite ever increasing individualism, people tend to lift. Okay, that is religion. Durkheim theories has also been used to explain relevance of internet communities for the emergence of global social order. Why? Can you explain this? Internet communities, this Facebook, Twitter, all these platforms, because we love the togetherness. We worship the togetherness. Okay, like that. Similarly, Durkheim's theory also helped to explain the continuation of number of institutions which are considered not relevant, like some festivals. Some festivals which are considered not relevant in the context, but still it is considered relevant. Some festivals related to cropping, etc. But now there is no cropping only in some states, but still that festival is there. Okay? Like you will get a lot of examples like Pongal in Tamil Nadu, like Vishu in Kerala. That all these examples, if you get, you can add that. But specific question will not be asked related to that. But you can say these institutions, the continuation of these institutions show the relevance of Durkheim. Okay, so that's it. Any doubts? So tomorrow we will start with next thinker, Weber. And if you miss out any videos, if you are missing any videos from here onwards, you message me. I'll send you the link of videos. I will not be uploading in the YouTube from today onwards.
Sir, in the last class you told about the web criticism. Can you repeat that statement, sir?
Which statement? That related to pebbles?
Yeah.
So,
Can we criticize that point?
see, Weber says social facts do not, do not exist in their rights just like that to go and pick it like things. What Durkheim says, you treat it as things and, get the information, use inductive methods, study, right? That shows his concern towards objectivity. But you can't treat it as things. You can't go and pick it. You can't go and touch it. So this is highly subjective. You cannot conduct and it is very difficult. That is what. Simply he have given a statement, that's it.
And even Morton says that multi-religious create conflict.
That you can write in religion. We haven't discussed about religion. Already I have discussed that when we discussed about the theory of religion. Multiple religion cause conflict. You can use Marx also. You can use the conflict perspective. Religion is opiating the masses. Those are specific criticisms
Okay, sir.
that you will get from essential sociology. All these are there. I have seen that.
Okay, sir.
So I hope all of you have got a copy of that book. Anyway, you need to get that book, even though we are covering everything. So I will refer some of these minute topic to that book. So you keep a copy of it and I'll tell you what to read, what not to read. Even if you read it completely, no problem, because it's a very simple book. Thinkers, after attending the class, then there is no point in reading that book. You will see there is no use of, going through that book. Even the content is also not that good in that book in case of thinkers. But some chapters it is good. But for criticisms and all, these are objective. You can take it from anywhere. Yeah, anything else? Just that I won't share publicly. I can share the videos with you. No problem. Not publicly. Not in YouTube. But whatever you are missing, I can give. So can we stop?
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow we will start with Weber, very important thinker. So almost half of thinkers is over. Weber, after Weber, then there is nothing. Parson, Merton, it will just go easily. Maybe in 7-8 sessions we can complete the thinkers. Okay, we'll stop here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how about prelims preparation? All going good, no?
Yes, sir. Going well.
Okay. See you.
Bye, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.